Hey guys, Corey Nielsen Fitness coming at you from Salt Lake City, Utah. Going to show you 5 different belly fat scorching exercises that I bet you don't do or have never done or tried. So let's teach you some different core exercises that'll help you burn that fat, okay? First one's going to be called the dead bug. So I'm going to lay on my back here. Okay, so here's my dead bug. Can you picture it? Bam, there it is. So what I'm looking for is I want my knees to be directly above my hips. I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands directly above my shoulder. Now the whole idea on this exercise is to keep my low back planted. Okay, I use this exercise a ton for people. Now it's really good for those of us who have low back hyperextension. And what I mean by that is when I lay on my back, if I have a big gap here between my low back and the floor, then you have a lot of low back extension and this is going to be really challenging for you. So what I'm going to do is, this is the starter version, okay? Keeping my lower back planted, I'm bracing through here, pushing my lower back down, extend one leg out, and then drop it as low as I can while keeping that back down. Some of you may only make it this far and that low back starts to pop up, so that's as low as you go. Others of you may go all the way down, tap that heel, and then come back up. Or I can go out and I can hold it there for a few seconds and then come back up, okay? And then I'm going to alternate. All right, once I get to the point where I can do like 14 of those, 7 per side, I'm going to go ahead and make it more challenging by using my arms as well. So let me show you that. Okay, the setup is the same. Knees directly above the hips, hands directly above my shoulders, keeping my lower back planted. I'm going to use opposite hand and leg. So here, extend out, boom, keep my lower back down. I can tap if I keep my back down all the way through. Okay, so exhale on the way out, exhale, keep that back down, tap, and come back up. Okay, so it's called a dead bug. Awesome exercise for those of you that have low back extension. Should be really challenging. Exercise number 2 is going to be a hand walkout. So what I'm going to do is set up here on my knees. I'm going to start walking out. I'll drop my butt down like I'm going to do a plank, okay? So there's basically a plank. I'm going to call the neutral spine here. From this position, without twisting through the hips or without letting me go to hyperextension or letting my butt come up, I can just, the easiest version would be for me to lift one hand up. Okay, squeeze my glutes, lift the other hand up, and brace. Okay, the whole idea is that I'm not twisting or rotating through the hips. Once I get that portion down, I can make it more challenging by walking out. Okay, I go as far as I can, and then walk back. Okay, the whole idea, once again, is just you're not twisting through the hips whatsoever. Make sure you squeeze your glutes, and that's really going to help brace that core for you. So it's called a hand walkout. Number 3 is going to be called a bear. Okay, so this is another exercise that's really good for those who are in a lot of low back extension. This works the muscles that help pull you out of that into what's called a neutral spine. So what I'm going to do is set up on all 4. Okay, my knees directly underneath my hips, my hands directly underneath my shoulders. From here, I make sure I have a neutral spine, so I don't want to be like this, and I don't want to be here either. Neutral. I'm going to go ahead and rock my hips forward, curl my tailbone underneath me. Okay, so watch that again. So here's my start. Push forward, curl underneath me. From that position, I'm going to come up and hold this. Okay, I'm pushing through my hands as hard as I can. I'm pulling my tailbone underneath me as hard as I can. And I'm really going to feel that up through the obliques, and then also up through the front side of that core. Okay, it's called a bear. I highly recommend it. Number 4 is going to be, it's called a bird dog. This is an exercise that most people don't do. It's extremely challenging, but it's also really hard to teach. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. I set up in the same position. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm in that neutral spine, okay, that straight line from the back of my head to my butt. Now, without twisting through the hips or losing that neutral spine, I'm just going to go ahead and brace my belly and then extend one leg out at a time. Okay, without letting, so I don't want to drop through the hip. I don't want to lean into one direction. I want everything to maintain. The whole goal is that I'm not moving at all when I lift my leg off the ground. Okay, so other side, come up, Lift that leg off the ground, extend out. Now when you extend all the way out, don't let yourself sag through that lower back. Okay, that's what I see a ton, is you sag through that lower back, and then also you kick into that hip. Now to make this more challenging, I go ahead and I can do it with a hand in a leg. So I set up, okay, I'm going to go opposite hand, opposite leg, squeeze my belly, come up, extend out, okay, and then go ahead and bring it back in. Now, once again, the whole idea is that we don't want to be twisting through the hips or leaning or anything, okay? You don't want to have any sort of movement beyond what's going on with your leg and what's going on with your hand. And that would be it, okay? And then the last exercise is going to be a modification on a plank. So it's just going to be a plank, but we're going to throw marches into it as well. What that looks like is, here's my plank, okay? From here, I just want you to lift one leg up at a time and alternate, okay? Now you don't want to sag through that lower back. You don't want to lose that neutral spine, so what you do is you squeeze your butt, squeeze your core, and then lift one up and alternate. All right, make sure you're not twisting through the hips when you do this at all. So there's your 5 exercises that I bet you're not doing. Go ahead and give them a try. Leave any comments in the box if you have any questions. Corey Nielsen Fitness.